Hey there, this is G Forever, and Hiya Toys is in the house. So we got the Godzilla Exquisite Basic series, and also these really cool stylist statues. So let's go check them out. And here's a box. So typically that's Heisenberg's line, but he's on vacation this week. But first off, we have to thank Ned Chang for putting us in contact with Hiya Toys, and also a huge thanks to Hiya Toys for providing these samples for us to review. And it's I'm really excited because these are really cool, and I was surprised when I opened it. So here's the Hiya Toys logo, so check that out. Pretty neat. All right, so your first question, Mike, where can you get these? Well, there's not a lot of easy ways to get them, but I'm gonna help you because as you might know, I've been helping folks with Easy Hobby Omega Beast and also W Dragon, bringing their Godzilla products from overseas to North America and and globally around the world. So I'm also going to be helping Hiya Toys, and stay tuned on Facebook. I'll be making a post shortly on where to get them, and also on my Instagram page. But yeah, check out this really awesome artwork here. I mean, it's really nice, typical Godzilla versus Kong art, and has the really good images of both the exquisite basic figure and also the stylist statues. But first, we have a quick message from Ned Chang. So, take it away, Ned.
Hello guys, this is Nat Chang from China. First, thanks for the invitation. Sorry I couldn't join the review of these amazing figures from Hiya Toys. You guys shouldn't miss it. Also, remember to subscribe this channel and support G Forever and Luminous. I have my own channel on Bilibili as well. Hope to see you guys soon. Enjoy the video.
Thanks, Ned, for that shout out. Yeah, awesome t shirt, by the way. Yeah, so make sure you check out Ned's Instagram page because he has some cool stuff. But this is the box of the Exquisite Basic Godzilla 2021. So you can see the Hiya Toys logo. Everything's in English, and it's a really nice looking box overall. Very good quality. And here we have some Chinese characters, and it's pretty much their contact information. You can email Hiya and call them if you like, but probably don't need to. I think I can help you out to get these guys if you're interested. So so for the price, first up is the Exquisite Basic Godzilla, very well packaged, and the price for this is $39.99. So this is going to be pretty much an 8-inch figure, or 20 centimeters. I think exact height is 7.87 inches. And he's made out of ABC and PVC plastic. And of course, he's from the movie Godzilla vs. Kong from the 2021. There's 26 points of articulation, so it's very highly detailed and articulated. So let's first check out the details here. I mean, this is him exactly out of this box, so he's kind of in a static pose right now. But we're gonna kind of move him up and see what everything looks. So first up, no major gaps on where the legs meet, because I think in the MonsterArts I can actually see my hand, which I'll show you. And we have a lot of comparisons later on, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, just right out of the box, I'm really digging all these high detailed, like the scales are nice, deeply sculpted. Check out the tail movement. So it's pretty good for what it is. Definitely better than NECA. You can definitely have a lot more posability. He's very solid. He doesn't fall apart like many of the SH MonsterArts, which I'm really happy about, because SH MonsterArts, as cool as they are, it's just very annoying when you're trying to pose them and they fall. The pieces fall apart. And check out this. You can move the waist. I think there was a really popular photo that one of the photographers recently shared. Was it Zaki J? I think he made like kind of like a superhero landing pose, which was really cool. But yeah, I think now I'm trying to recreate the Omega Beast Furious Blue pose. But yeah, I think it's really cool. You can definitely get a lot of movement. The neck is very, there's a lot of spacing for the neck, so you can kind of make him look upright. Due to that, it's a trade off with all that extra spacing.
you might get some gaps. So the best looking is probably something like this, where he's kind of looking forward and maybe looking up slightly. You can do sort of like a swimming pose. And what another cool feature is the tongue also has some articulation, so you can make him roar with the tongue a little bit higher. One thing I noticed, if you do the tongue too high, you might actually see the spacing in between the mouth. But otherwise, I think he's looking really good. The eyes look great for the size. Some people might complain about the teeth, but I like it. It's better than like the bright white teeth on the Playmates, which you'll also see later on in the comparison part. But yeah, I think I'm really liking this one. The details here look really great, very close to the Godzilla from the 2021 movie. And yeah, I think the only drawback, I think I mentioned this a few times, is that that hinge joint, that bolt where his on his jaw. That's the only thing that's kind of a little too obvious, which I kind of wish they did away, or maybe change that. But otherwise, everything else looks great. I mean, the seams are, it's an articulated figure, so you're gonna have expected seams, but they're not bad at all compared to NECA and MonsterArts. Check out the details behind the legs. Really, really crisp. I really like it. And the paint job is really amazing. This is kind of like, in my opinion, it's kind of like the earthy tone, like a daytime color. So you can actually see like the animalistic browns, greens, and grays. And yeah, really good choice for the the mouth and tongue color. The eyes, I think, again, I can't stress, like, that's really really great job for like the tiny eyes on this smaller figure. And I like the size of this figure too, being like closer to an 8-inch figure. Definitely beats like the smaller 6-inch figures, because as I've always liked 8-inch figures. Like, I started with the 8-inch Bandai's, and I feel that's like a really great size, because it's not too big, it's not too small. So I really like 8-inch, and I'm so happy that Hiya came out with this. And it seems like all of their upcoming MonsterVerse Godzilla figures will be in this scale. So really happy for it. Look at the detail on the tail here. This looks awesome. Like, really amazing work, Hiya. I think you guys did a fantastic job on this figure, and I really can't wait to see all the upcoming ones, like Rodan and Mothra especially, and of course Kong. Really hoping we'll see more. But let's check out some comparisons. So here, this is the 2021 SH MonsterArts. The first difference, as you see, is the paintwork. Very flat paint on the SH MonsterArts, and a very strange looking toothpaste like blue in the mouth and for the back fins, which is supposed to simulate the atomic glow. But let's do something a little more closer to this Hiya figure. So this is the 2019 SH MonsterArts. So let me fix that mouth a little bit. So yeah, you can see side by side, like, the Hiya is definitely larger, and I think the details on the MonsterArt is pretty good. But if you just look at the head, like face on, I think Hiya really nailed it. I feel like the MonsterArts is good, as a good representation, but Hiya captures more feel from the movie, in my opinion, and also the paintwork. Like, the only thing I really didn't like about the MonsterArts one is the paint was very dull, like very flat. And if you look at Hiya, like, it's a lot cheaper, and you're getting a lot more bang for your buck. Like, see the color on the MonsterArts, and check out that gap right there. I think this is the downfall for MonsterArts for me. Like, the major gaps like that is just very distracting, and I just hate it. Hiya, great job. No major gaps. The color, I love it. Has like the earth tones, really shows him more like a reptilian Godzilla than just like a plastic figure. So it gives him more life to it. And check out that head. Like, really look at that head, because I think that really resembles what he looked like in the movie. So yeah, here comes the NECA. So this is the 2019 Godzilla from NECA. NECA did an excellent job for the price point. I think back then this was like a $20 figure. I believe Heisenberg mentioned like the prices of NECA figures nowadays has risen due to inflation. So I think it's very compatible to Hiya, but Hiya really took it to the next level. There's more, there's definitely more articulation on the Hiya, and of course the size is way more bigger than the NECA. NECA is a little more hunched over, whereas the Hiya you can actually be more upright, and you can also move him to face down a little bit. But I think NECA did a good job too. Like, check out the paintwork. I think I like the paintwork on NECA more than the MonsterArts. So as much as I love MonsterArts, I think their MonsterVerse line so far has been not up to par with previous releases, and NECA really did a decent job. But I think Hiya is the clear winner in my opinion. I think they did an outstanding job not only with the sculpt but the paintwork, the level of detail of the eyes. I think for the paintwork, the only maybe if they were to do the teeth a little bit, but I think that kind of is a risk for them, because sometimes if you see Playmates, if the paintwork isn't so great, that might not look as good. With this brown kind of like on the teeth, like I think it kind of gets away with it. It's like a little illusion. Like you won't say, hey, why is his teeth so white? But maybe that's another reason to keep. That helps with the price point as well. I mean, that's an easy fix if you are okay with doing some touch-up work on your figures with the paintbrush and all. But yeah, I think I'm really hoping that Hiya will release a like atomic version, like a heat ray version variant, where his back fins will be blue and maybe come with an atomic breath as an accessory. That will be really awesome. And maybe a burning variant will be really cool too. But yeah, the only thing I really hope is they fix that bolt on the jaw, and it'll be really a perfect articulated figure. All right, talking about Playmates. So this is something that is easily accessible, and I think in China both of these are accessible. But if you're in the U.S. or anywhere around the world, the Hiya Toys figure might be a little harder to get. But I got you covered. So yeah, feel free to email me at omegabeasttoys@gmail.com. As soon as I get the information, I'll be able to help you get one of these. Alright, so here comes the SH MonsterArts Kong. So we can see the size comparison. So while we're waiting for Hiya's Kong, you can mess around, you can bring the SH MonsterArts Kong to play with the Hiya Godzilla. I think they're, size-wise, I think they're still decent. And I really hope Hiya makes really makes a Mecha Godzilla, but for now we can put him side by side of the SH MonsterArts Mecha Godzilla. Again, size-wise, I think still okay. I think it'll be really awesome if Hiya makes one. Okay, so here comes an older SH MonsterArts. This is I think their bigger line, the 8-inch line. So we can see the Heisei Godzilla 1989 is slightly taller, and so is the SH MonsterArts Shin Godzilla. So these are kind of like bigger releases in the MonsterArts line. But Hiya Toys is very compatible to this Shin Godzilla in terms of height. So yeah, I think pretty good. Alright, so next up we have the Stylist Series. So these are statues, and they're actually very amazing. So first let's take a quick look at the box. Again, very nice box art here. I like the images, and the colors here. It just goes with the the typical Godzilla versus Kong theme. But I really like the images that they used. And here's some of that contact info. But yeah, this is a really nice image of Godzilla there. And the pose is really cool because once you see, actually check this out. They actually posed it the way you see Godzilla and Kong fight off in the trailers usually. But yeah, I think this is a really nice statue as a matter of fact. So you might ask me, if I can only choose one, what would you do? So hard choice. If you like articulated figures, probably the majority of you folks out there do. Probably go with the exquisite basic. But if you're fortunate or enough to get both, I highly recommend it because check this out. He's really cool. He's pretty solid, and he's a statue, so he doesn't move. But there's no seams, and the level of detail is actually quite amazing for this price point. And I really like if you look at the back fins, it has kind of like a reddish, like a maroon color to it. And I never noticed that on any other Godzilla figures, but it looked really nice on this one. So yeah, and from like earlier pictures, the camera might not capture it as well as in person, but like the face is actually really good. Kind of doesn't look so good on camera, but in person, I think he looks a lot better. Like the little teeth is all captured there, the eyes. But I think my favorite part is the back fins with that kind of maroon brown, reddish brown back. But look at all this detail here. So so comparing it to the Exquisite Basic, which we'll do later on in the video, this is more of like a nighttime color in my opinion. So like when Godzilla and Kong are fighting in Hong Kong, in the kind of closer to the final battle, a little second battle, I guess, because they fought in the ocean first, and then they meet again at night, and then they have a final battle of Mechagodzilla. So this will be like the nighttime battle. So the color scheme is a little more darker, which is pretty cool too. Like I like Godzilla with kind of like a darker color to him. You can see the copyright info on this foot, so pretty neat there. And yeah, I'm liking the statue. The price point is pretty good. So the prices for the 8-inch PVC statues are $36.99. They're also 7.87 inches tall. This Godzilla, 20 centimeters. Also made of PVC and ABS plastic. And of course, it's based off of Godzilla vs. Kong in 2021. But yeah, look at the head. Like, pretty good for a statue of this size and for this price point. Because if you think about like Diamond Select statues, I think they're going for much more than this. I think they were like 50, 75, and I think just recently their Godzilla 1993 one is over $100. So for like $37 plus shipping, this is a really good bargain in my opinion. Getting a lot of detail, very good paint work, and you don't have to mess around, posing him. Like he's already pre-posed for you. And once you bring in Kong in the picture, it makes a great scene because it's like an iconic scene from that movie. So you have him on a shelf, have Kong in front of him. It's a really nice display. So really cool. Okay, so here comes the Exquisite Basic. So yeah, we saw that. So let's compare Hiya to Hiya. So both great figures. As you see, the paint is a little different. Again, in my opinion, I think the daytime color is on the Exquisite Basic, the articulated figure, and it's like a nighttime paintwork on the Stylist statue. So yeah, so the Stylist I feel is slightly bigger, just potentially just the way he's posed. He just looks bigger, and this one has like the painted teeth. And you can see more of that mouth, whereas the Exquisite Basic articulated figure is more focused on the articulation, but also bringing out more of the detail by using like the browns. So yeah, both are great figures. If you're able to, I would recommend getting both, or actually, matter of fact, all three. Here comes Kong. All right, so this is the first Kong figure or statue that Hiya is bringing out. They do have an articulated figure for the Exquisite Basic, which should be coming out soon, as a matter of fact. So stay tuned in our future videos for that. But look at this! Look at these pictures. Like wow, like really cool. Cool looking Kong here, and look at the scars. So. All right, but yeah, this Kong is just like the Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong 2021. It also features Kong, doing a really like the special scene in the movie, and especially you've probably seen it over and over in the trailers when he's jumping with the battle axe, attacking Godzilla as he shoots his fire breath. So this one, Kong is actually jumping in the air, so he'll require a stand. But first, let's check out the details. Like, really great work in the mouth. I like how the teeth has a lot of, kind of like the like the staining, so it's not like bright white teeth. Same with the tongue. Really good details. Look at the scars. It's actually a 3D, so it's not just like 3 lines that were painted on. So it looks and feels like a scar. Only thing is, you do have a hole in the back where you put on the stand, but it's very solid. Like once it's in, he's in, and it's funny. Like it looks like Kong's like toes are sort of holding on to the stand as he jumps, but I wonder if they did that on purpose. But the best thing I feel is the battle axe. Like this is a very detailed battle axe. I think much better than what we'll see on the SH MonsterArts. So yeah, I think this is a really imposing looking Kong here. Like I like the facial expression. I love how he's jumping in pose. Really resembles that scene from that movie. The only thing I think may have been an improvement, maybe give Kong some brighter eyes. But then again, like this works. Like I'm totally fine with it. I'm just nitpicking here, but you can see his his muscles, the fur is done very well for this price point. Kong is also $36.99, and he's 26 centimeters tall, 10.23 inches. That's thanks. That's thanks to the stand giving him a higher height. I think he's a little smaller, but I think it'll fine. But yeah, putting these together, this is just like the movie. I think is great. This will look really good on the shelf. In a display case. Really good, like excellent price point, a great sculpt, excellent paintwork for this price. And I think the size is pretty good. Like it's not huge, so you don't have to worry about shelf space too much. And there are poses that you can kind of put them close together or far away. Alright, so here's the exquisite basic Godzilla with the Hiya Kong. So they still are in a good scale, so you can put them together. Here's the Playmates Kong. We can definitely see the difference in terms of quality. Just look at the battle axe alone, like wow. So you are paying a little more for the Hiya statue, but I think it's really worth it because it's really good quality here. And here's the SH MonsterArts Kong. As you see, his foot already fell off, so I'm really looking forward to the exquisite basic Kong to see how that articulated Kong holds up. But here's the SH MonsterArts with the Stylist statue. And we definitely can see, no seams on the statue, which looks great because, really looks like, like almost like a one-piece figure should be, right? Here's the battle axe comparison. SH Monsters did a good job, but I think Hiya did even better. Just look at the tip of the bone, I guess. Like it's really nice, and the blue lines in the battle axe. I think SX MonsterArts got the eyes a little better. That's just me being a little nitpicking, but otherwise, I think Hiya is a clear winner. And here comes the statue from, I think it was Sega. So here's the Sega statue with the Hiya Kong. Definitely the Sega one's very plain looking, very static. He's just holding the battle axe, standing, whereas Hiya has more of that action feel. All right, so something closer to I guess like in terms of fierceness and paintwork. So here's the Art Spirits Kong 2021, and I think Art Spirits did a really good job. The only problem with Art Spirits is they're really expensive. So if you put that price into play, the Hiya is an easy winner. But Art Spirits is their later works, their newer works. I want to point out is pretty good. Like their older ones aren't so good, which I'll show you once we bring the Godzilla out. So here's their Godzilla. So this is kind of like a in between. Like I think this is Art Spirits sort of. It's a newer but not the newest. So Art Spirits did an okay job back then. I think the older ones, in my opinion, aren't that great, especially for the price point. So this is the Godzilla from 2019, and I think like it's okay, but if you put him next to the Hiya, I think the Hiya is definitely feels like more solid as a statue. and it's like, was it like half, or it's a lot less than the art spirits. And actually the pose is very similar. I think this might be a similar pose. Again, this is from the 2019 movie, so it's not really for attacking Kong, but it actually looks quite a little similar. As a matter of fact, I think the tails are just switched differently. This one has the blue fins, but if you look closely, you can see like the lines. It doesn't have like a good fading effect on the back, whereas this one has some of that pretty neat looking maroon red on the back fins. All right, so let's put the Hiya Godzilla with the Art Spirits Kong. I think they actually fit, right? Like, in terms of scale, like I think maybe Kong might be a little big, but if you pose, the right distance, you might be able to get some, play with the camera angles and make them work better. But yeah, I think maybe the Art Spirits is a slightly bigger here, but otherwise. Quite similar. And just for a fun one, here's something that Playmates put out, Godzilla with the fighter jet, and that's kind of a similar pose. And here's like a smaller Art Spirits. Here's a Prime 1, solid figure from the bust. So this is like a extra figure that goes to in the back of the bust. So we can see, the Prime 1 details versus the Hiya details. And I think similar to their Exquisite Basic, that's more of like a earth tone Godzilla, so more like a daytime color. And there's on the left would be the Sega Godzilla. Definitely no comparison. So Prime 1, Sega, Hiya, and Art Spirits. Which one do you like? I think my opinion is the Hiya, and here are all three together. So I really like all three of these figures, and you definitely can't go wrong. I highly recommend Hiya Toys Godzilla.
So yeah, Hiya Toys is an awesome addition to the Godzilla collection, and I'm really excited to see all their upcoming stuff, especially their Rodan and Mothra. So yeah, I think for the price, these are really good. I think this Exquisite Basic really outbeats the SH MonsterArts. Again, like everything is like almost there. It's just that little hinge joint. I really hope they make like a second version where they kind of fix that. And I do hope that there's gonna be like a translucent blue back fin version of this guy, and hopefully some accessories like the atomic breath. That will be really cool. But yeah, I think everything about this Hiya Exquisite Basic Godzilla is amazing. So I highly recommend getting it. So they deserve to be loved by every Godzilla fan out there. Just very impressed and really excited that we have more coming from Hiya Toys. And don't forget these two stylist statues. Although they don't have any articulation, these are actually really good. Because I was really surprised when I first saw the photos. I think they had cool poses, but maybe like the faces didn't look so great. But when I saw these in person, these are really good. These are a lot better than what I thought. Maybe it's just like a in person view versus camera view. Because for some reason the camera doesn't capture the details as much. So definitely check them out if you can. Of course, if you can only pick one or the other, I think the popularity wise, probably the Exquisite Basic one is gonna win because of all the articulation. But if you can, since they're not too expensive, I do recommend getting all of these, because these two statues are really great and is a really iconic pose for both Godzilla and Kong from that movie. And I'm really looking forward to the that exclusive one with the blue fins, the translucent blue fins, because that looks really cool. So yeah, highly recommend these, and huge thanks again to Hiya Toys for sending us these samples for us to review. And again, I'm really looking forward to Rodan Mothra. I guess we can throw in Kong too. And I'm really hoping we see more, especially a King Ghidorah, Mecha Godzilla, maybe some skull crawlers or anything else from the Monsterverse. And I also hope to see some classics, because I'm all about the classic Godzilla figures. So I'm really hoping to see some classic Toho monsters. to join the lineup as well, because I really like the size, and again, like the detail, paint, everything is great for the price. And yeah, I think, you know, of all the comparisons you see, like these two statues for the price really stands out for what they are, and for an articulated figure, this thing is definitely a winner. So, all right, I guess summing up, you know, do what you can to find these guys, because you won't be disappointed. I think they're probably the top MonsterVerse figures out there as of 2022. So, all right, this is G Forever. Hope you enjoyed the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Godzilla and the Stylist Series Godzilla and Kong.